10 questions that can be offensive to ask a quilter. Hi everyone, I'm Mary from Joyful and Mary Quilting, and today we are going to talk about something a little different, but oh so relatable if you're a quilter. I'm going to share 10 questions that, when asked, just hit wrong. In other words, they're questions that may be sincere, but they come off as kind of offensive to a quilter. You've probably heard at least a few of them, maybe from a well-meaning friend, maybe a curious stranger, or maybe someone who just doesn't quite get quilting. So let me tell you, I have heard them all and I've written them down. Some of these make us laugh, some make us sigh, and some, well, let's just say they've been asked one too many times. So for each one, I'm going to share, first of all, a lighthearted response, and then a more thoughtful answer, because sometimes we just want to smile and move on. Other times, these questions simply give us a chance to share a little quilting wisdom. So here we go. 10 questions that can be offensive to ask a quilter. Number 1, can you make me one just like this, but in a different size with different colors and really for cheaper? Okay, so my first thought is, of course, because nothing says easy like starting over completely for less money. I love spending more time and effort to earn less. It's always been my dream. But my true response is, I'd be really happy to talk about creating a custom quilt for you. Since changing the size, colors, and design involves new planning, fabric selection, and labor, the pricing is going to be different from the original. Once I know exactly what you're looking for, I can give you a custom quote. Number 2, what? I need to buy the materials? I thought the price included the materials. Okay, my first thought. Oh yes, the price I gave you covers everything: fabric, batting, thread, years of experience, hours of work, and of course, I'll personally tuck you in every night once it's done. Just kidding. But unless you're growing fabric in your backyard, yes, you'll need to buy the materials. Okay, but my actual response would be, the price I quoted covers my time, it covers design and labor, which is really a big part of the value of a handmade quilt. Materials like fabric, batting, and thread are really additional because the cost can vary a lot depending on the style, the size, and the quality that you want. I am really happy to help you with those decisions. Number 3, can you make me a queen size quilt? I'll pay you $50. It's for a wedding gift. My first thought, sure, and I'll throw in a unicorn and a pot of gold for the bride and groom while I'm at it. But actually, my response is, by the time I select the pattern, purchase the fabric, piece the quilt, quilt it, and bind it, the minimum price would be $1,572.47. And that's conservative. Okay, if you're not a quilter, I know what you're thinking right now. There's no way. That amount is totally impossible for a blanket. How can it possibly cost over $1,500? Okay, here's how I came up with that figure. First of all, I priced it for a queen size quilt that's kind of right in the middle, more involved than an easy pattern, but really not a super complex one. Now, just for materials, and this is very subjective because there are many factors that can change these numbers. The types of fabric you use, the difficulty of the pattern, maybe a custom quilting design. Okay, for the pattern, it's $12 usually. That's pretty average. For the quilt top, we'll say about 10 yards of fabric. That will cost you $120.95. Now, if you get it on sale or whatever, great, but this is an average cost for the quilt top, for the fabric. Then you need backing. Now, the backing for a queen size, probably 8 yards, maybe a little bit more, $103.60. For the batting, a queen size, good quality, 80/20 batting, $48.95, so about $50. Then you've got to bind the quilt. 3/4 of a yard of fabric, about $8. You'll need thread. 1 spool, $10.95. So right now, just for the materials, we are up to $292.47, $292.47. And then, to top it off, what about your time as a quilter? Okay, in my rural area in the Midwest, a general crew member at a fast food restaurant makes $15.60 an hour. So let's give ourselves $20 an hour, which is very conservative based on a quilter's training, expertise, and all of the tools of the trade that are needed to make a quilt. In fact, that can be kind of insulting to some, and I understand that. So to piece a quilt top, let's say it takes me an hour per block, and that again is conservative and going really fast. A queen size quilt can really have about 56 blocks plus borders. So 56 hours plus sewing the blocks into a quilt top, an additional 4 hours, mitering those borders, another 4 hours. So the labor total, 64 hours of work, times $20 an hour, we're up to $1,280, $1,280. So $292.47 plus $1,280, that's where I got it, $1,572.47. And again, that is a conservative estimate. Many will be more, some will be less. If you can find that bargain, hey, go for it. Number 4. You're a quilter? My grandma used to quilt. Isn't that an old lady hobby? So my first thought is, absolutely, it is an old lady hobby. I always quilt right after my 5 p.m. dinner and right before my 7 p.m. bedtime. But actually, my response is, quilting has been around for centuries, but really, it is far from just an old lady hobby. It's an art form that blends design, color theory, math, and craftsmanship. And today's quilters span every age, every background, and every skill level. It's a thriving, creative community, and it's not a stereotype. Number 5. I didn't think machine quilting counted as quilting. Is it real quilting done by hand? So my first thought was, totally, and any real cooking only happens over an open fire, right? But my actual response would be, machine quilting is just as real as hand quilting. It's just a different method. It takes skill, it takes creativity, and it takes precision. Let me assure you, both are respected techniques in the quilting world. Number 6. Now, can I show you the right way to do that? My first thought is, oh, please do. I've just been out here winging it. Enlighten me, oh wise one. But actually, what I can say is, I'm always open to learning, but I have spent a lot of time developing my own techniques that really work well for me. There are often multiple right ways to do something in quilting. It's part of what makes it so creative and so personal. Number 7. Oh, I could totally do that if I had the time. So my first thought is, oh yep, once you have the time, the rotary cutter magically knows what to do and the quilt just assembles itself. But actually my response is, time definitely plays a role, but so does the willingness to learn and commit to the process. Quilting isn't just a free afternoon activity, it's an art form that takes practice, creativity, and dedication. Number 8, you used a pattern? Oh, so it's not really original then. My first response is right, because real creativity only counts if you start from complete chaos. But actually, my response is, using a pattern doesn't make a quilt any less original. The artistry comes in fabric choices, color placement, craftsmanship, and often creative adaptations to that pattern. No 2 quilts ever turn out exactly the same. Number 9. I saw something like this at Target. It was $69.99. My first thought is, yes, Target is truly the gold standard for heirlooms passed down through generations. But I wouldn't say that. What I would say is, mass-produced quilts are made quickly in factories, often with lower quality materials and minimal labor costs. A handmade quilt is a completely different experience. It's crafted with care, high-quality fabrics, and hours of skilled work. The value comes from the process, not just the price tag. Number 10, you charge for your quilts? I thought you just did this for fun. My first thought, oh, I do. And I also enjoy paying for the fabric with smiles and empty promises. But actually, my response is, quilting is a pretty labor-intensive skill. While I love the process, my time, expertise, and the materials I use have value and cost money, just like any handcrafted work. And then I have a bonus question, number 11. Do people even use quilts anymore? My response is, and this is straight up, yes, people still use quilts, and we'll keep making them one stitch, one story, one legacy at a time. So that's it. Feel free to share any offensive questions you've been asked about quilting in the comments section and add to our list. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you like the quilt behind me, it's called Embracing Our Scraps, and you can find it on our website, joyfulandmerryquilting.com. Click on Store. We also have a free workshop available there as well that you may be interested in, how to create the perfect quilt block every time. 5 tips, 5 handouts, 5 videos that are great for new quilters or for quilters who are just wanting to perfect their skills. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. I am always trying to be joyful, but I will always be merry.